Okay, let's go over why cash-based physical therapy. Now, obviously, I have a biased opinion because I'm a cash-based physical therapist and I have a practice, but to help you understand, what's the future look like if you're thinking about opening up a cash-based practice, let's go over why cash-based physical therapy. So, just to keep it simple and short, it's just better on all aspects, and I'm going to show you exactly how. So, a couple years back, I was actually interviewing some of uh, the older guys that are in the physical therapy industry. And I talked to Jim Milton, and he used to be in the PT industry, sold his company and stuff like that. But he said something to me that stood out. If you new PTs do not stay proactive and adapt, you're going to get crushed. And it's crushed by policies, insurance companies, reimbursements, et cetera, and stuff like that. So this comment stood out to me so that out of the whole interview, if you new PTs don't stay proactive and adapt, you're going to get crushed. So, you know, to be honest, we already have the cards stacked up against us. When you see physical therapy, what do you think that the average public thinks about? It's like it's almost stacked up against us that we're in a local Facebook group in our community, and someone posted, "Does anyone know of a massage therapist that treats migraines?" And my friend and my wife commented on the post and just recommended a physical therapist. They both know that I treat migraines and I can help with headaches. And the whole um, treatment process is a whole other lecture, but they both knew that I treated with good outcomes, treating migraines and headaches. And they didn't even think about posting me or my stuff. And I asked afterwards. And yes, the lady did ask for massage therapy, but regardless, she wants to get relief. And I'm the best option that they know of that could, and they still didn't. My own wife didn't even think of physical therapy or of putting my post or my website in there to help out that lady. So let's face it, the public has we have we have a major branding problem. Okay. And in the big picture of things with physical therapy, we have a limiting practice act that's like limits us. Personal trainers have no practice act and they can do a lot of things. We have a very limited practice act throughout many states. We have very low membership, so we have weak lobby support, so we can't raise a lot of money with PACs and try to support our practice act and support our lobbyists to fight for us. And we have a damaged brand. The public sees us as, glorified personal trainers who just post-op rehab or exercise. They don't think of us when it comes to like back pain. And the public doesn't know what we really do, and we've done this to ourselves. There's good and bad physicians out there, but the majority of things, especially in my experience of opening cash-based practice, physicians don't really respect us. And let's face it, there's still POPs clinics out there. The physicians own the clinic somehow, and they just funnel their own patients into that as their business model. So, and honestly, insurances don't really respect us either because it's not like they're paying us a lot of money. I just saw there's a dry needling code now. And for that skill and that intervention, at the time that you're watching this video, it may be different, but right now in April 2023, it was like for one of two muscles, it was $16. And for three muscles, it was like $24 to do dry needling, which blows my mind. So insurance companies don't really respect us. And let's face it, reimbursement across all of medicine is just going to keep on going down. So um, we all see where the future healthcare is going to. With insurance plans are going to have higher deductible healthcare plans and be more major medical stuff. So there's higher premiums, higher co-pays, and higher co-insurances. And let's face it, the patient or the beneficiary doesn't even know what half of these things are. They don't know what a copay or co-insurance is. Their premiums may be paid through their workplace, and they don't understand what a deductible is. There's a lot of education that we have to do to patients. Again, with insurances, declining reimbursement, there's always more limitations and restrictions, and I'm so glad that I don't have to deal with any of this anymore. I would never go back to standard care, but all the limitations every year, and a Medicare cut is coming. I get these emails and posts that Medicare is going to propose another cut, and there's new codes and modifiers now to do, and more restrictions and more documentation. I'm like, I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that. But That's coming and it's here and it's going to keep on getting worse and worse. So, probably they're going to come out pretty soon and say Medicare is going to do another cut. And really, when it comes down to it, do they really value physical therapy? So, talk about a dysfunctional relationship. This could be the most dysfunctional relationship I've ever seen in my life. So, especially with you new grads, or even some of the students who are watching this, the relationship between the provider and the clinician to the health insurance to the patient is the most dysfunctional relationship I have ever seen. It is insane. It's like three different entities just not in the same sequence at all, going against each other, and no one knows what they're doing. So you have your health insurance company who is your best friend when they're trying to sell you a policy. And this goes with all insurance companies. But they're trying to sell you this and they're the best friend, this and this. But when it comes to time, you have to put a claim in, they don't even know you. They're like, wait, no, we don't cover this. Oh, no, sorry. We're going to deny this. We're not going to cover this. And honestly, the health insurance company is looking out for the health insurance company first. They're looking out for themselves. It blows my mind now, not to get into politics, but it blows my mind that I just read that Cigna article that they hire physicians that deny claims, and you have these insurance companies profiting billions and millions of dollars, and their CEOs are making tens of millions of dollars, and they deny $1,000 insurance claim. It's like it blows my mind. So the whole thing needs reset. But the insurance company is looking out for themselves first. They're trying to deny claims. How can we save more money? How can we set more limitations in coverage? So they're extremely difficult to work with. Some of you out there that haven't dealt with them, good luck trying to call an insurance company and try to do things with that. So again, we're going to keep on getting less and less reimbursements, and they're creating higher copays and more co-insurances that the beneficiary and the patient don't even know what is. So then you have the provider, you have us. So we're trying to do what's best for the patient, regardless. We're nice people. We want to help these people, and we want to do what's best for the patient. But we're forced to see 2 to 3 patients an hour just to get increased revenue. We're forced to bill 4 to 5 units a visit just to increase revenue. And I'll never forget the one day when I was one of my last days in insurance healthcare. We had our meetings. I was getting patients better. I was already charging like 2.5 units a visit. I was killing it. I was doing great, showing awesome outcomes. Physicians were referring to me. And my boss looks at me and was like, Ron, you have to start billing 4 to 5 units a visit. So I was like, what? And I was seeing 2 to 3 patients an hour. They were double and triple booking me. It was crazy. I was like, nah, because I already knew that I was going to leave and go open up my own practice and go cash based. So I was like, nah, never mind. But it's the model that you have to do. There's insane documentation just to get reimbursed. You need to jump through hoops and rules. There's limitations set, and pretty much we're overworked and underpaid. And then you have the patient that still thinks insurance covers everything. They have no clue about their insurance policy, what it covers. They don't even know what a copay or a co-insurance is, or even pretty much they don't even know what their deductible is. And they're limited to like forced to go in-house, and they really don't know how much to pay. So pretty much in a cash-based model, you focus on what is the most important relationship, and that's the patient-clinician relationship. So in a cash-based model, you can put a big X over this health insurance company. Now you can still do what's best for the patient, give them a reimbursement form, but that's not dictating care. That's not dictating how many patients you have to see. All that matters in a cash-based model is the most important relationship, and that's with your patient. So that's another thing. So what about technology? Our insurance company's trying to replace us with an app. If you don't see this coming already, this is already here. So these other companies like Simple Therapy, Hinge Health, and Joint Strong, these companies are actually getting bought out by insurance companies, and they're trying to replace us with this app. So you have back pain and you want to get treatment for your back pain, your insurance company's like, do this Hinge Health back pain program for 4 weeks and see if it helps. And we all know that acute bouts of low back pain spontaneously go away in 4 to 6 weeks anyway. So if this even works, we didn't even know if this is even going to do anything. Or better yet, this is going to be great for cash-based clinics, because if someone gets handed this and told them to do this, this is a joke. I'm going to go find someone to treat my back pain, or if this makes them worse and stuff like that. So I think this is horrible for our profession. And I think this is great for cash based, because when they start doing this, people are going to be like, this isn't working. I'm going to go do something else, or it's going to make them worse, or it's not going to do anything. And then they're going to search other options, other ways to treat their back pain or orthopedic stuff, and they'll find us. So this is coming. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty much coming already, and it's going to be here. And this may be the future. So the performance-based economy, if your workplace hasn't seen this already, it's going to change the whole way. You're not going to get paid like a normal salary anymore. A perfect example is if you're a cleaner and working for a hotel, you're not just going to get paid a fixed salary. You're going to get a low base salary, and then you're going to get paid based off of the number of rooms that you clean. Okay. So, and then you'll have a certain performance measure. In order to get a bonus, you have to clean X number of rooms. The problem, this is very similar to kind of pretty much waiters and servers. You get a low base salary, and then based on your performance, you get tips, and that's how you make your money. This performance economy is coming. If you haven't seen this already, this is coming, and just wait until these big chains start paying you a low base salary and then start paying you based on the number of patients you see. And what's that going to do? Facilitate you. The more patients you see, the more money you get. It's not even going to matter about outcomes or quality of care. So that's coming. So the question is, how are you adapting? Okay. How are you changing? How are you adapting to these new trends that are coming? We need to adapt, or we're going to get crushed, just like Jim said. So why do we even get into this industry and the career? For the patients, right? We love helping people. We want to change people's lives and get them back being pain-free and enjoying their favorite activities. We got in this because we want to help other people, and we want to help the patient. So let's look at this from a patient's perspective, and how can we like apply this to a cash-based model? So what does the patient value? If any of you have followed any of my trainings, we have a patient value formula here. Patient value equals the results and the quality of the customer experience over the price and additional costs. And you can get into some arguments about the price or why price is on the bottom, but the most two important things that patients care about are results and the quality of the customer experience or the patient experience. If you increase the results, you increase the value. If you increase the quality of the experience, you increase the value. So, what PT model can deliver the most patient value? If we know what patients value now, what model presents the best or the most value in the patient's eyes? Okay, these are the main types of PT models. You have your private practice PT, you have your corporate mill PT, you have your cash-based practices, you have a hybrid practice maybe that goes insurance and cash services, and then you have maybe like a PT tech, or like a Hinge Health or an app and stuff like that. So starting off the bat, we can just take the corporate PT mill out of there because that's going to be more of the low, poor results and the poor consumer experience. We unfortunately see a lot of these patients that come from here that have failed, and it's the same old story. I was seen with 2 to 4 other patients. The physical therapist wasn't even paying attention to me. I got passed to a tech. The PT was watching TV as I was doing my exercises. I looked around and everyone was doing the same exercise. This is a cookie cutter approach. This is a factory mill. They're just pushing numbers. Let's face it. This is going to be the least quality and the least results and the least customer experience. So then you have your private practice PTs. And again, this is the nice balance where they're struggling, where they want to do what's best for the patient and they want to try to keep good quality or maybe like a good patient experience. But they're limited by insurance companies and reimbursements that they're trying to make ends meet, but yet try to keep good quality and keep good outcomes. So this one, you're going to get good outcomes and maybe an okay customer experience. You still got to get double or triple booked with other patients, or you got to keep your expenses down to be able to keep the one-on-one care going on. And I'm sorry, there's no way that one-on-one care in a cash-based clinic is going to even compared to what a corporate mill is going to do or double and triple booking patients. they're not going to be able to compete. And that's one of the major benefits of cash-based PT. If someone's paying you for cash, they're not going to pay you cash if you're double and triple booking with other people. Especially if you're charging 150, 170, $250 an hour, they're going to want the one-on-one care. And the patient experience they're going to get with that, plus the results that they're able to get just by seeing one-on-one care is priceless, and it creates so much value that they're even willing to pay for that service. So in my eyes, again, I'm biased. In a cash-based PT model, you're going to get excellent outcomes and excellent patient experience. And it's up to you and the business owner to kind of customize that patient experience to make it even better and better and better. But cash-based PT is going to have high outcomes, high results, plus a high patient experience. So it's a win-win. Massive value there. Hybrid clinics, again, you can go back and forth. It depends on your structure here. You can start out in an insurance model and then add in some cash services. So it's kind of like a hybrid. You'll get both a little bit with this. So again, the PT owner can kind of customize the patient experience there to make it better and better and better. But again, as long as you accept insurance, you may be struggling with that decreased reimbursement. You may have to double book patients. And PT tech, yes, I know it's coming. Patient experience is going to be horrible. It's probably going to work for less than 50% of the cases. And then what do you do there? And stuff like that. Even though it's coming, and insurance companies may do that, you're going to get average to poor outcomes, and it's not going to be a great patient experience. There's no human interaction whatsoever. There's no manual therapy. So we'll see what happens with that. Overall, what models provide the most value? Cash-based physical therapy model or some sort of hybrid clinic that's going to be insurance plus cash, and you can go from there. So again, we're going over why cash-based physical therapy. Can a cash-based physical therapy model provide a solution to many of our problems that I listed before? And the answer is yes. If you haven't read this book, Blue Ocean Strategy, I highly recommend you reading this book. And this is kind of what cash-based physical therapy model is doing. We're trying to create a blue ocean here. We're managing costs and increasing value, thus called value innovation. We're going to try to create an uncontested marketplace and make the competition not relevant. Okay, so we may not be a full blue ocean. We're more like a purple ocean, but we're not a red ocean, which is an oversaturated market where everyone's competing for the small amount of leftover market share. And there's a lot of competition, a lot of people to choose from, versus a blue ocean is clean, clear. There's not a lot of competition, and you're coasting on that. So it's called the strategy canvas. You're going to eliminate, you're going to reduce, raise, and create certain things to create that blue ocean. So I'm going to show you exactly what I did to start my cash-based physical therapy practice. So there's what factors in our industry in physical therapy can we eliminate? Okay. If we want to create a blue ocean or a purple ocean in a cash-based model, what things are we going to eliminate? What factors should be reduced well below the industry standards? What factors are we going to raise well above the industry standards? And what factors are we going to create in the industry that has never been offered? Okay, so we're going to break our industry down and look at things that I've done here. So we're going to eliminate some stuff. We're going to reduce some stuff. We're going to raise some stuff. And we're going to create some stuff. So let's look at this from a business and a patient perspective here. And let's look at the business model, a cash-based business model in a blue ocean strategy. This is what we did. We eliminated insurance limitations. We can do what is best for our patients. Reimbursement limitations. I don't have to double and triple book patients just to make my numbers work. You can charge based off of the value that you bring to make your numbers work, to pay yourself well, and to make decent profit. We eliminated double and triple booking. We eliminated treatments that don't work, because let's face it, if you're not getting results and you're doing garbage treatments, no one's going to pay you, and they're going to leave. And we eliminated patients being passed around to assistants or techs. The specialist who does your eval is going to see you throughout the full plan of care. Again, we're creating value, increasing the patient experience. So we eliminated these things. We reduced wait times and late starts. I hate it when you have an 11 o'clock appointment and you're sitting in the waiting room at 11:30 waiting to be called back. I hate that as a customer experience thing in healthcare. So we eliminated that. If you have an appointment at 11 o'clock, you will be seen at 11 o'clock. And we also try to really get patients in within the week. In a cash-based model, you have faster turnover sometimes, especially in some of the easier cases, that we try to get patients in within the week, and there's no need to wait 3 weeks to be seen. So what things did we raise? We raised the quality of care. We created the patient experience, really focused on patient education. Our evals are an hour and a half long, so we have plenty of time to answer all the patient's questions, make sure they understand the root cause of their injury, what are underlying risk factors. They can ask questions about that. It gives us time to talk about the prognosis, the timeline, and the cost. We've actually raised the level of communication that patients can actually text us or email us directly. Patients love that. Okay, so we raised and improved the communication. How frustrating is when you're trying to get in touch with your doctor and all you want to do is ask them a simple question and you got to log into some portal and then do this and then they never get back to you, or you get in touch with the nurse and they still don't have any questions and it's weeks until you can get a simple answer. This way we raise the level of communication. They have 24/7 direct access to us, to ask us simple questions and provide feedback. And we raise the level of education. Easy, convenient schedule. It's super easy. Even from the PT standpoint, they can adjust their schedule from their phones, and we elevated the standard of care. So what things did we create? We created a new cash-based model. We use video-based home programs. I'm surprised people are still using paper printouts now with little stick figures on. Take advantage of technology in this one. You can post your videos to YouTube and send them via email for free. So we created a video-based home program. Patients love this because they don't have to memorize anything. They click and watch a video and they can do that exercise at home. We have a money-back guarantee. Now, this in my group has created a lot of controversy. This is not guaranteeing that treatment works. This is actually saying that if you don't feel that treatment is working, or you're not responding to treatment, or you don't like the service or like the PT for any reason, that we'll give you a full refund in the first 2 weeks. Okay, so we added a money back guarantee. No one in healthcare offers a money back guarantee. We actually broke down our touchpoint integration. We created a flawless and unbelievable patient experience that from the time they see our website to the time that the onboarding process is starting, to the patient experience when they first walk in the door, to the music playing, to the eval experience, to the communication, to the treatment interventions, to the discharge process, and the word of mouth referral machine. We created an unbelievable patient experience. All of healthcare needs to read a patient experience book or a customer service book, but we kind of took our time and broke down touchpoint integration and really elevated a new patient experience that smashes standard care. And then we do direct to consumer marketing. So we didn't really create that, but it's just a new marketing strategy for that. So let's look at from the patient perspective. What is the blue ocean in the patient side of things? Again, we took out double and triple booking. They're not being seen by multiple clinicians and they're not limited by their insurance company. Whatever is best for the patient is what the patient gets. We reduced waiting times and the cost of care. I actually published my first 3 years data on my cash-based model. Now, the prices have changed now, but if you look at the average case of lower back pain in the US, I think that Virginia Mason study and some of the stuff by Fritz et al. Showed that the average cost of care of low back pain was anywhere from $2,200 to $6,600. And my first 3 years data, our average cost of care for the plan of care was like $817. And even today, with my current price rates, our average revenue per case is like $1,440, I believe. It's around that $1,500 range. So it's actually reduced the cost of care compared to standard care, especially if someone has a $5,000 deductible or a $10,000 deductible. We can save them money by going cash-based. We raised one-on-one patient care. Patients love that. Patient education. They love the communication, scheduling convenience, and the quality of care. Things that we created, the clarity on the cost of care. Because of the No Surprise Act, many of us have to follow this anyway, which actually helps us anyway. We don't have to give them a good faith estimate. We tell them exactly how much it's going to be and what it's going to cost, and then they can make a decision on what's best. We added the video-based home programs, the money-back guarantees, and the patient experience. So let's look at it from a physical therapy standpoint. From us, we don't have the annoying productivity standards. I've seen some clinics now, they do like 99% productivity standards and give you no documentation time now. That's crazy. So we don't have to double and triple book patients anymore. We don't have to pass patients around. We're not limited by insurance. It's very similar to what we just went over. Waiting times, we don't have to wait, no late starts. We raise the one-on-one patient care. That's why we got into this business anyway, to help patients and give them great quality care. We educate the patients, communication with them, scheduling convenience. It's pretty much the same stuff. So, um, you know, to be honest, a cash-based physical therapy model is just better on all aspects. It's a better business model. It's better physical therapy clinical practice, and it's better for the patient across the board. So pretty much you can create this blue ocean for yourself and create an uncontested market space and make the competition not even relevant. Okay, you can set their standards so high that there's nothing to even compare it to. So again, yes, we need to continue to innovate and differentiate ourselves above standard care, especially if you're going to open up a cash-based practice. Because let's face it, healthcare is an oversaturated market with lots of competition. If you just Google best physical therapy Orlando, this comes up. But really, when you look at all the physical therapy clinics and all the chiropractors and all the physicians and all the personal trainers and massage therapists, your area is probably more like this. It's an oversaturated market. There's a lot of competition. So this Elon Musk quote, in an oversaturated market, if you're going to open a business in an oversaturated market with lots of competition, your product or service needs to be far superior than your competition. Not a little better, not great, far superior. Okay. So how are you going to, in your cash-based model, how are you going to create your far superior product? Again, it's results and the patient experience. So here's a concept. When your product or service is the same as your competition, it's a race to the bottom. So what do I mean by that? Because again, we're in an oversaturated market. But if we're all the same with all of our competition, it's just a race to the bottom. So here's a product example. If I want to buy a Yeti cooler, I'm going to probably have to pay $500, $600 for that, even more maybe, depending on the size. But I can get the Arctic cooler, which is pretty much the exact same thing for like half the price. And Arctic's whole model is like better quality, half the price. It's a direct competitor with Yeti, but you can get almost the exact same cooler for half of the price. So people are going to buy more Arctic coolers. I wanted to buy a fence on my backyard, and I was getting quotes, and honestly, it's the same fence. So I was like, who's going to be able to do this the cheapest? I mean, besides labor, you're all using the same parts. So with this service, I was like, okay, who's going to, because there is no differentiating factor between businesses. It's get a couple quotes and see who can do this the cheapest. They're probably all getting the same materials from the same distribution center anyway. So again, when your product or service is the same, it's a race to the bottom. Same thing with like a mechanic. If you needed some stuff to be done, who can fix your car the cheapest? You know, it's pretty much the same product, the same service, the same technique, just replace the alternator, fix the oil pump, whatever it needs done. You know, what's the difference between this water source and this water source? Who can deliver water to my company the cheapest? It's the same water. It can't be that much different. What's the difference with the physical therapy example? How are you different than Cora, Dreyer, ATI? You know, if you're the same as your competition, you're not going to stand out and you're not going to be able to thrive in a cash-based practice. So this way, if your service and product is the same, the consumer will just compare the prices and choose the cheaper one. So when your product or service is the same as your competition, it's a race to the bottom. So how does your cash-based PT service compare to the other practices? Okay, you have to differentiate yourself. You have to create that blue ocean and set yourself apart from everything else. And I think we even need to do it outside, not just physical therapy. We need to do it to all of healthcare. How is your service or product different than a chiropractor, different than the physician, different from the major orthopedic firm, different from other PTs, different from other healthcare practitioners? Let's think in a bigger market space of how are you different compared to all of your competition. Okay. But what we have to do as cash-based PTs is make your service so unique with massive value that there's nothing to compare it to, and you can dominate your competition. So why cash-based physical therapy? Because we can create massive value and set ourselves apart from standard care, and we can squash our competition, have a successful business. So yes, we need to continue to innovate and differentiate ourselves. So one of our final points is, are you ice cream? Are you vanilla ice cream or are you pistachio ice cream? And there was a really good example in this book, Fascinate, where ice cream is the conservative choice that appeals to the masses. Everyone's going to like it. If you're having a party, you want to have some vanilla ice cream there. Everyone likes vanilla ice cream. You're appealing to the masses with this. It's the meh kind of version versus pistachio ice cream. Not a lot of people love it, but the people who do love it a lot. And you're appealing to a niche market. So a cash-based physical therapy practice is a pistachio, not a vanilla ice cream. So rather than dumbing it down, its taste to appeal to a majority, the producer can focus on serving a tightly defined core with a distinct point of difference. That's what we are in a cash-based model. We're more pistachio. The goal of pistachio isn't to please everyone. It's to engage a few people really, really well. Okay, you must be the most fascinating. You must highlight what makes you different. Instead of trying to outdo your competition, you want to focus on what makes you different and how you diverge from standard expectations. Highlight what makes you different. That blue ocean strategy is going to highlight what makes you different, and you market that. Okay. If any of you have followed any of my content, I like to operate by the KISS principle: keep it simple, stupid. So it doesn't have to be any more complex than what you need. So it's simple. It's the problem, the solution, and how you're different. So what's your patient's problems? As you start marketing a cash-based physical therapy practice, you clearly have to know what your patient problems are. Okay. Then what's the standard solution? What's standard care like? And then highlight how you're different and make sure that you're the perfect solution for their problem. Okay. We need to highlight how we are different. And again, if we, the new PTs, don't stay proactive and adapt, we're going to get crushed. Okay. So I believe that the solution to many of these PT problems that we've gone over today in this lecture, the solution is going to be cash-based physical therapy or some sort of cash-based model. So with the future of PT, if we focus on value and differentiating ourselves, I think a cash-based physical therapy model is great. I love it. I would never go back to standard care. If you're not going to go into 100% cash-based practice, you're probably going to dabble in some sort of hybrid model of insurance and cash. And I think these two models are the top two that provide the most value, especially to the patient. So you can open up your own cash-based physical therapy practice. You can escape the insurance madness and limitations. I am so glad that I don't have to deal with any of that stuff anymore. It is insane. I hear students tell me about what happens in other clinicals, but I don't have to deal with any of that. Even when Medicare cuts come out, another Medicare cut is coming out again. I'm already past that. I'm looking on to a new marketing strategy to how to help and serve more people. I'm not even worried about that anymore. So glad I don't have to deal with this anymore. And you can treat patients the way you want. I never have to worry about being overworked or underpaid or seeing 2 to 3 patients at every hour. I can see one-on-one patient care forever now. So I don't have to ever worry about that. And I can do what's best for my patients, have high quality patient care, and get the results that I promised during the eval. I can show better patient outcomes compared to others. What standard care takes 3 times a week for 4 weeks to get better, I can get better in 2 times a week in 2 weeks and stuff like that. So I can show better patient outcomes just because of the model of being in a cash-based model. In the clinic, I can treat without insurance limitations. I can do what's best for the patient. I don't have to document crazy amounts of documentation anymore. Never do I ever spend hours after work on a computer just doing documentation so I can get paid. I never have to double and triple book a patient again. I customize every treatment plan of care. I never get stuck in a cookie cutter approach and just doing my 4 to 5 units a visit. And what's really important is you create meaningful relationships with your patients through the one-on-one patient care that causes the patient to refer others who are ready to come and pay you cash. So you can get paid well too for the value we deserve to get paid for the value that we bring, especially if we're showing great outcomes, not limited by insurance companies, but getting paid for the results that we get. So here's simple numbers right here that you don't ever have to get overworked and underpaid. If you're a cash-based solopreneur and you want to charge 150 an hour, here's a perfect example here. You could pay yourself $80 an hour, even give yourself an owner's comp if you really want to. That's getting into more advanced stuff, and a pre-tax profit of $52. That's 35%. Most businesses are struggling just in the service industry, just making ends meet. There may be like 6 to 11% pre-tax profit. Geez, as a solo cash-based solopreneur, you can pay yourself well, 80, 90, $100 an hour if you want, and still have a healthy pre-tax profit. In my business, I'm scaling mine now, so we have a couple PTs, and we're trying to expand to a second location. We average 170 a visit. You go through there, direct labor, owners comps. You can still get paid very well in a cash-based physical therapy model and run a healthy business with healthy pre-tax profit margins. So you can create a profitable business model and not have to worry about pinching pennies and the expenses are matching the revenue, and you can have a healthy business and pay yourself well. Some of the different models that most people are doing, you have a 100% cash-based model, solo versus a scalable business. Some people do cash plus Medicare. I would never want to do Medicare just because I don't see any positive in doing that. But some people want to treat Medicare patients, so you can do cash plus Medicare. Some people have a hybrid, to do a little bit of insurance plus cash services. And the new thing that people are trying to do now is trying to create a membership where it's kind of like a concierge practice and you pay a monthly fee and you come in for your PT. So these are some of the different models that have been practiced and done in our groups. And most of all, you can have a better work-life balance and more freedom to do what you want. I give my PTs the freedom to set their own schedule. If they want to take a 4-day weekend off, they can block off their schedule Friday and Monday and just make sure their patients are seen within the 4 days. You can live a life that you're financially free and you make decent money that you can take a week off if you want. You can go on vacation and you don't have to worry about squeezing patients in or getting paid on that time. It's a better work-life balance. And again, I'm biased, but it's just better on all aspects. So the solution's simple. Cash-based physical therapy is going to be the future. It's whether you choose to go into 100% cash-based practice or you're going to stay in insurance and try to add on cash services. But I believe that the future of physical therapy is going to be cash-based, or you're going to have these factory mills here, and then there's going to be two different markets, and we'll thrive in a cash-based practice. So below, in the links below and the website below, you'll have all the access to all the systems and the processes that you need and the tools to open and run a successful cash-based practice. Just click on the link below or scroll down. And I always finish all of my lectures with, do you believe in physical therapy? I love this profession. We have a lot of work to do. I love what I do. I love patient care, and I love helping people and growing a profitable and healthy business. And I believe in cash-based physical therapy, and I believe in physical therapy, and the future is as bright as your face. So thank you for listening. Just scroll down, and if you do have any questions, you can send me an email, and thanks for watching.